a Ryan Seacrest hater. I think he does a good job with the jobs he does do, but I feel like he's too hosty. He's too like, okay, I've been annoying you with my 1940s movie reel guy voice. Ryan Seacrest does that classic 80s host voice that just in certain scenarios it's fine, but on Jeopardy it just would not work. Jimmy Kimmel, because he's a ABC studio man,
Too
is
much.
being yeah.
I don't force. If he's going to do that, it's going to be for 1 week to fill in some sort of celebrity Jeopardy thing. Not full time now.
Yeah, he'd be a good celebrity Jeopardy host. He's a little too broy. You know,
That's
he never
true.
got rid of the man show. So you're good. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of work too. I mean, unless they're going to pay him out the bazinga, but that seems very. He's got to focus his efforts on his show, not Jeopardy.
I just feel like he would be the opposite of why I don't want Ken Jennings to host, because Ken Jennings would know all the answers, whereas Jimmy Kimmel would know zero of the answers. And I don't feel like he'd be able to pronounce like half of like the upper echelon words, if you will, or anything foreign. It would just be a shit show listening to him try to read.
Reasonable. Your answer seemed reasonable. You were wrong, but I mean, that sounded like you knew what you're talking about.
He's like, I don't speak French.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Too much roasting. Too much roasting.
Oh, that's Latin, sir. Oh, it's Latin. I didn't even know.
Is that it? See? Dead languages.
Katie Couric is also on the list.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm just glad that's all we need to. Yes, no thanks.
Nah, I'm good. Good on that one.
Drew Carey is on the list.
Yeah, he's a Price is Right guy.
Why would he
there? Yeah.
He's got a cush. He's got a cush thing going on with the Price is Right.
Yeah, it's zany. He's a zany guy. Like, yeah, just that's his thing.
Let me just tell you this. Drew Carey is still confused about hosting the Price is Right. I don't see how he could step into an intellectual realm and be any better than fucking just like not fucking up the rules on like, I think you putt once and I think if you miss, I think you putt again. Let's just try and see what happens. Yeah. He still hasn't figured out the rules of the goddamn game. I've been watching this motherfucker since I was in fucking diapers, and I know the rules to every pricing game there is on the Price is Right, and Drew still hasn't figured it out.
He is. He's always just looking around too, like looking around the studio for help, I think, or he like asks the guy who reads off the prizes. He like asks, he's like, somebody spins the wheel and it lands on $1. He's like, oh, so sad. And people are like, nah, Dick, she moves on to the next round automatically. This is how it works. Like, God damn it, Drew.
My dad tapes that thing every day. Every time I ever go to pick up my kid from their house, that's what he's watching. And I have seen Drew Carey on more than one occasion look over to the producers and be like, did she win? She won. Like, I've seen him ask off stage if the person won the fucking game.
Well, I like it now. I want him. Jeopardy sounds good. It sounds all right.
What about Steve Harvey is on the list?
See, it's too good. He is perfect for roasting fucking Family Feud people. Like,
yeah,
he's already in that mold. Like, it's there.
Yeah, that's not his wheelhouse. Again, LeVar Burton. You're not gonna.
Yes,
you have a tough time selling me on an African American that's better than him right now, or anybody for that matter.
Now he'll never ever do this, but apparently Joe Rogan has made the list.
I thought about it. I'm sure he'd like to, but not full time, not even part time. Maybe like 4 months, 3 months, maybe, but I doubt it.
Nah,
long enough for you to realize I like it from the confines of my fucking recording studio, where I make.
He says
the episode.
On every show, every podcast he does, he reminds people that he's a fucking idiot. There's no reason for him. He won't even entertain the idea of guest hosting. So he's not doing it. And then finally, for some reason, they had to throw him on the list just to piss everybody off. But they have thrown former El Presidente, Donald J. Trump on the list, which is never going to happen. And that's just to make people mad and angry and share the story for clickbait.
Yep, 100%.
I think just a couple. Unless Alan, unless you want to go, I have a few that I
think you
lined up.
covered I think you covered most of mine, honestly. The only one that I was missing was Bill Nye. I said Bill Nye because Bill Nye has reached a dark version of himself, a dark timeline version of himself, and I think he'd be really into roasted nerds. But he'd also be a little bit offensive about it. So you got to kind of walk that line.
So in the household, cousin Dylan, jokingly said Christopher Walken, which I thought was funny. We're gonna be able to do it quickly.
How do you know that?
Apparently, so the guy. Do you know Ken Jeong?
The dude from The Hangover.
That's
the
right.
Asian guy.
The Asian guy. So apparently he has either a master's or a PhD, and he's extremely well read.
Yeah, he's a medical doctor.
Sarah thought that he would be able to have the charisma / well readness. No, you don't think so?
I mean, yes, for those things, but like, so we watched The Masked Singer, and he's a judge on The Masked Singer, and like, I kind of enjoy him, but he like when they put him in certain scenarios, he just becomes fucking the guy from The Hangover without an Asian accent, and it just bugs me. I'm like, stop! Like, you're just that guy now.
So you need him to have an Asian accent?
It would be better if he's going to just act like that. I would just give me the Asian accent, and then I'm used to it. You know what I mean? And then I'm good. I know what I'm getting. It's a packaged product. Like, label on it, good to go. But then you give me an American version, I'm like, he's a douchey Asian American guy. So yeah, no, he's not for me. At least not in this vein. Also, he hosts something else that's fucking terrible, and he's not good at it.
I think it's funny how his trial for you is being the judge on The Masked Singer. It's like, well, he's on The Masked Singer, so that's the litmus test.
What I'm saying is he's already on something far easier, and he's fucking awful at it.
Okay.
So, yeah, like this seems like he's a little out of his depth, but he is a medical doctor. He is intelligent, and I think if he didn't act like an American version of the Hangover guy, he'd be all right. But that's what he does when he's on camera. That's his shtick.
Gotcha. I said if they could do it for a single episode, I thought it'd be funny / somewhat interesting if they did Watson, the actual computer who competed against Ken Jennings and the guy that I mentioned earlier.
That'd be kind of cool.
Who's on there. My actual, I have a front runner and a dark horse, although none of them are better than LeVar Burton, but this is what I thought of before Murr dropped that fucking nuclear bomb in my lap. So here I am following that. First of all, Mark Summers, former host of Nickelodeon's Double Dare.
Double Dare?
I think he'd be all right at it.
I think he'd be really good at it, actually.
Yeah. Next, all right. This he wouldn't do it. It wouldn't happen. People wouldn't go for it. Wouldn't take with test audience or initial response from viewers. But I think Fred Norris from the Howard Stern Show would be really good at it.
Fred Norris.
Oh, no.
Oh, Fred. Oh, yeah. I think the problem with picking the Jeopardy host is everybody's trying to find like somebody with personality, and that's why I think the LeVar Burton pick. Oh no, here we go. Yeah, Fred.
Yeah,
he's good. Yeah, but he canceled too quickly. They would just simply go back and find literally one episode of the Howard Stern Show out of thousands, and be like, no, you said what about the mentally handicapped? No, you can't do that.
It's got to be like a squeaky clean kind of guy, but with a little bit of edge, because roasting nerds is pivotal. So I keep going back to this because this is really all that matters is roasting nerds.
You got to remember that like Trebek was just simply like a game show host guy. Like when he came up when he came down out of Canada, he was just hosting like Joker's Wild and like Match Game kind of stuff. And then they're like, listen, Trebek, we got a new show. You just read questions off a cue card and we wait for people to answer it. I'm in. Like, does it have a steady paycheck? Sure. And then 30 some years later, here we are. And Trebek just had that dry wit Canadian sense of humor about him. And it was just very affable. And so you just have to find somebody that can hold the fort down. Like the show's not about the host. I think that's what was always brilliant about Jeopardy is that the show wasn't about the host. It was about the questions.
Yeah.
And it takes a small ego to get out of the way of that. And then people will love you for not ruining it. And I feel like most of the hosts that were mentioned would ruin it, with the exception of LeVar Burton. I mean, dude, he was Kunta Kinte, motherfucker. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I actually listened to his podcast. That motherfucker reads to me like every other day while I'm walking around the mean streets of Elkton. I got LeVar Burton in my ear telling me a story, and it's amazing. And one time he told this story. This is actually a fun LeVar Burton story, if there is such a thing. He was talking about how like he was trying to break into the business, and they said if you want to be an actor, you got to learn to dance. So he was at like New York University, and he was in this dance class, and he's like, finally, I got it. I just needed to dance for another 8 hours a day for another 3 months. And then I got this open casting call, and I went down and I tried out, and it was for a little mini series called Roots. And I never had to dance another day in my life. That's perfect. That's the guy. He's Geordie LaForge, motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty fucking spot on. I don't know what LeVar's doing now, but hopefully he'll do that.
He's reading stories to me every goddamn day.
There you go.
It's literally called LeVar Burton Reads.
God, man, that's awesome.
Shit. Well, get on Jeopardy. I like it. We'll see where this pops off. We'll maybe do a couple hashtags on Twitter. Get us on there. Figure it out. Whatever. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
I already did that, by the way. I put a heartfelt message out to the Jeopardy people, and I tagged them.